What's going on, fellow freelancers? Today I'm coming at you with another Anthem video. Yesterday they released a ton of new concept art which teases quite a few things such as new biomes, etc. Maybe new areas of the map. Stay tuned for that. So yesterday evening, as you can see, we got this, which advertises a new Killer Magazine art station for Anthem. And if you go to the link, you'll see this, BioWare Anthem Art Blast. This showcases several things. Looks like new biomes, potentially new areas, even new javelins and weapons. Now, just to preface this, we have no idea what parts of this concept art is just that, concept, and what, if any of it, is actually going to be implemented into the game. So keep that in mind while we go forward. So as you scroll down on the page, you will see various different concept arts. Some of these look very familiar, as have already been implemented in the game or are similar to things already in the game. But there are some unique ones as well. Different javelin suits, different things that look like they could be really cool, new creatures that didn't appear previously. But what's really got me excited is this. Right here it looks like a snow biome. Now keep in mind, in this game it only takes place in Bastion, which is one small area of the map as you're or of the world, I should say. As you're playing through the game and talking to the various NPCs and other people, you will find that they talk about other cities, such as Anthem, Helios. They even mention the Mirelands, as in traveling your Strider through the Mirelands to Bastion. We also know about Strollheim to the north, where the Dominion come from. And there's also talk of a kingdom across the sea to the south. So there's a lot of missing parts in this game. We don't know. There could be snow areas, there could be desert areas, there could be lava areas. We don't know. Bastion is just one small piece. We don't even know how big of a piece. It could be a quarter of the map, it could be a fifth of the map, it could be a tenth of the map. We have no idea. But because we don't know, it lets our imagination run wild at just how big this world could be and just how many new areas they could release. It's very exciting. Here we have what looks like either an early concept ranger, potentially a new javelin, or maybe even an alternate upgraded version of an existing javelin. We honestly don't know much about it. And then here, similarly, this looks like it could be an interceptor variant, maybe an original concept for the interceptor, maybe a future concept for an interceptor, maybe a whole new javelin. I like the turrets floating around the outside of both of them. That's an interesting concept, and I would really like to see how that could be implemented into the game. Here we have some what looks like new regions, this fortressy looking area, perhaps new stronghold, maybe an area that never actually officially made it into the game. Who knows? Here we got what looks like a city. Maybe this was the original concept art for Fort Tarsis. Judging by the latticey look on the back wall, maybe it's a whole nother city we haven't made it to yet. Hell, it could be Anthem. It looks pretty fancy. Who knows? Anthem is the capital of the world, so we'd have to wait and see. Here we've got this, looks like some kind of sky fortress or something. Who knows? Next up, we've got some concept art for weapons. This one here looks really cool. I believe it's the lightning shooter or lightning gun or something like that. You can see here it's charged up and in action. Here's some kind of plasma weapon of some kind, charges up and expels what looks like a massive amount of energy into some kind of Dragon Ball-esque energy blast. So we'll see what comes of that. This picture here I found quite interesting. It looks like it's a hybrid between a Ranger and a Storm. I mean, if you look at the helmet, it's very Storm, and obviously the seals down the arm scream Storm. But if you look at the layout of the legs and the structure down the back spine, and as well as the metal bars across the chest, it's very Ranger. So again, don't know if this is an early concept that didn't actually make it into the game, or if this is something yet to come. We don't know. But the fact that they released this concept art pack just yesterday, it kind of leads a lot of people to believe that this is things yet to come, teasers of what could be or what could have been. We don't know. Here we have another picture, what looks like Sentinels or some kind of security patrol escorting Striders, which I know a lot of people are really wanting there to be some kind of escort missions or etc. in the game. So maybe this is foreshadowing for that. We'll have to wait and see. BioWare has said several times that they've got a 10-year plan for this game. So I mean, the sky's really the limit on where they could push this game and where they could take it to. New areas, new maps, various new strongholds. I mean, we already know a new stronghold is coming in the 90-day roadmap plan. Not to mention new story content. There's obviously going to be new areas. Why bring up other places? I mean, look at the Dragon Age series, for example. They talk about, first one starts in Ferelden. They talk about Tevinter and Kirkwall and all that stuff, which we eventually go to in the later titles. So with Anthem being a live service game over a course of 10 years, there really is no sequel. So they will probably release such things as the game progresses, like any other normal game like this would and has. Moving on from the concept art, I want to talk about something I've been seeing a lot of people talk about is, should the game have been delayed? I honestly would say no. Because what you don't realize is a lot of the problems the game faced at the demo stage and at the early release were things that didn't present themselves prior to it being opened up to players. They even stated this several times, and they were very open to it. These were things that they couldn't possibly have foreseen until they were actually stress tested and put into effect. Every new game has its issues, has its crashes. Take The Division 2, for example. Just launched today, but a couple people have been playing it for the last couple days from the 3-day early release. Division 2 has just as many problems. It has several connection issues, crashes, graphical glitches, etc. That's just what happens with new games. The Division 2 is literally doing the exact same thing Anthem did. It's crashing and dropping out, restarting systems, consoles, etc. It's the exact same thing Anthem did. So it's not Anthem's fault specifically. It's just the way it is. Something with the hardware's not meshing with something in the game or whatever. While we're on that note, I want to point out, all the people who have heard these rumors about the PlayStation 4, Anthem is not crashing the systems per se. What it is the PS4 has a built-in security failsafe. So let's say the CPU feels like it's getting too hot, or the video card's getting too hot, or whatever the case is, the system automatically triggers a restart or a shutdown to preserve itself. Now, something in Anthem, and this has happened before, because Division 2 is doing the same thing, Grand Theft Auto 5 did it, and several other games going all the way back to 2015. Now, something in the game coding, the system's firmware doesn't like, and it's triggering a fake security breach, for lack of a better term, and causing the system to restart or shut down, thinking it's in danger. Now, let me let you know that the console becoming bricked rumor is just that, a rumor. Both BioWare and Sony themselves have said this is complete and utter BS. Your system will not be bricked. There is zero fear of any damage or corruption to your system caused by this fail-safe. So don't trip out. While we're on the subject of should the game have been delayed, there's other people asking, they keep referring to the game as being unfinished. Well, anybody who's ever played an MMO or a looter shooter or any kind of live service game at all, and for the record, games as a service / live service has been around since the mid to late 90s. So this is not a new concept. Like, every game like this is never truly finished. That's the point. They're open-ended games. As far as the creation of the game itself is done. It's not like it's a half-baked cake. The game itself is fully done or fully cooked. They just leave open-ended story arcs, plot holes to be filled later, etc. These games, look at this game's like a TV show. Okay? When the game first comes out, it's basically season 1. It goes through its story arc, it has its little side plots, introduces you to characters, and then at the end, there's an ending, maybe there's a cliffhanger, maybe there's a tease for the next season, and then it ends. And then they release new story content, which then continues either the cliffhanger to its resolution, or it starts a new story arc, or blah, 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 blah. That's how live service games work. That's how they've always worked, and that's how they will always work. At least for the foreseeable future. I don't see any reason why they should break it if it ain't. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it, So, saying the game is unfinished is kind of ridiculous because that's literally the nature of it. It's never going to be, air quote, finished. They're always going to add on new story, new content, new javelins or classes, depending on what game you're playing, new weapons, new dungeons, new strongholds, new areas, new maps, new mounts, again, depending on what game you're playing. That's just how it is. But that does not mean the game is any more or less, air quote, finished. The game itself is done. As I said, like season 1 of a TV show. Done. Now, with a TV show, if it gets picked up for a second season, let's say, then the game will continue. If not, then it'll get canceled and it'll be a one-pump chump. That happens too. You just never know. But any game with a live service that's online like this is always going to have open-ended story arcs. Now, the story of Anthem is not anything award-winning or record-breaking, but it's pretty damn good. The story was good, it kept you engaged, parts of it kept you on the edge of your seat, cutscenes were full of action and humor and suspense, plot twists you didn't see coming, some that some of us did see coming, but nothing like, it was a lot better. It's probably one of the best stories out there for a game of this genre. Because it's more of an action RPG than a traditional looter shooter, the story tends to be a lot better than your standard looter shooters. Because looter shooters usually have a very loose and low-end story because the game's main focus is the loot, not the story. And that's okay. It doesn't make these games bad. I'm not here to knock on any game or praise any other game over another. I'm just simply stating facts. And that's it for this video today, guys. Like and share, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you're interested in when my new content drops. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time on the journey through Anthem.